Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankara Sharya Madhyamam Asmadasharya Paryantam Vande Guru Param Ishvaro Guratmeti Murti Beda Vibhagine Vyomabda Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Sava Vedanta Sedanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanantam Satguru Brahmatoshmaham Om Shanti 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 Om Namaste. So chapter 9, chapter 4, verse 30. The end of a beginningless samsara cannot be established, and the endless of moksha, which has a beginning, is not possible. So we have seen that verse 30, in which Gaudapada established that if there is a beginning of samsara, so and then we have say, okay, and then there must be an end, because everything that has a beginning must end. So and then moksha is okay. But if we establish that there is a beginningless samsara, and you cannot really establish the endless of moksha, which has a beginning. So the endless of moksha, if there is a beginningless samsara, and then the concept of anything being beginningless is before or beyond space and time, then the samsara would be something which does not allow for moksha, which is the end of samsara. The samsara must be understood as a kind of psychological human condition in which suffering is predominant. Or in a macro level, samsara is an endless cycle of life, death, and reincarnation. So we have seen this verse, eternal cannot be Karanam, because a thing has to undergo change to be a Karanam. We have established all of those concepts. We have seen with the help of Swamiji that science accepts that the universe was never created or originated, which is quite a progress. Therefore, the universe does not have original cause. Therefore, the universe is eternal, and the universe is always changing as well. So the difficulty is to reconcile this notion that the universe is eternal, beginningless, and yet it's a flux of continuous change, because anything which is beginningless, it's eternal, it should never be subject to change. So that is a contradiction. Why we can't accept such a universe that is eternal, beginningless, but yet changing all the time? This is another logical contradiction. The problem is that the scientists still see the world, the universe, as something real. The world itself has its dual nature, in the sense that there is a subject, observer, and the object observed, the so-called universe. So he plays between Dvaita and Advaita. Dvaita is samsara according to the Vedas. In a changing world, mortality cannot be avoided. Mortality is samsara. The fear of mortality of the body is samsara. Therefore, accepting an eternal universe is accepting eternal Dvaita, and then moksha would not be possible within that context. But then there is another contradiction, because even these schools of thoughts that defend those concepts They say that there is moksha and everybody should work for moksha. The beginningless Dvaitan will never end, and all spiritual sadhanas will be useless because you are working for a moksha, which is not possible because you have established that samsara is something eternal, beginningless. Beginningless, it must be endless. There is no question of beginningless that ends and beginningless that change, because change involves transformation, and everything that transforms disappears or appears into a different kind of shape and form and condition. Therefore, we do have a scope for moksha because we accept that Vaitan is eternal, but it's eternally mithya. So Vedanta says we in Advaitan we have a scope for moksha. You see, this thing of moksha, I wrote a note to a friend of mine who sometimes writes me some things, Stan, about, and then I published it in my Facebook page. So moksha, it was all about moksha. Yeah? So what is moksha? Because moksha is not something that we can gain, attain, or accomplish. Yeah? Or it's not byproduct of anything that we do mentally, intellectually, or otherwise. Moksha is what? Is our true, intrinsic, real nature. And then all what's left is we can claim liberation as our true nature. It's saying here, by the way. So in Advaita alone, moksha is possible. Moksha is possible as a claiming, as I wrote on my notes. I don't know if you all read it. I mean, it's only possible by claiming. Yeah, somebody challenged me on that one. And then I wrote a short note, and I'm going to drop because I'm not interested in any of these academic debates with people who do not accept the Vedas as a true source of knowledge. Yeah? So I'm not there to make even publicity or try to attract any students. So I'm over with all of that. I mean, first of all, Vedanta destroyed my career as a guru, and then traditional Vedanta, as exposed by Swamiji, further destroyed my career in the West. So I'm not interested in students. I'm not interested even to gain sympathy from anybody out there. So therefore, I just deal with my chickens. I was hoping that Felipe was coming to help me, and then Mark was coming, and then Ronaldo was coming. I'm just left with my chickens. If the uncreated matter, the universe, is the uncreated duality, so there are without a beginning and eternal, there will not be an end. There will not be any end to samsara. Therefore, this dosa is called anich-moksha. In Karma Karyavada, out of the 6 formulations, we see the 6 formulations derived from the second line of this verse. If samsara is beginningless, it will not end. Therefore, moksha will never be possible. So suppose samsara ends even though it is beginningless. Gaudapada says that the end of that samsara will be the beginning of moksha. It looks reasonable, but not on our analysis. If moksha has a date of beginning, it will have an expiry date. So no moksha is possible if Dvaitam is eternal and beginningless. So the true nature of reality is moksha. But as I put in my notes, so we could also call moksha the recognition and the claiming of my true nature rather than my apparent nature. No? Since I am already free, all there is what? I either accept it and claim it and enjoy it, or I don't. Then what is moksha? We cannot talk about moksha because everything is consciousness is free, limitless, and has no concern with whatsoever dualities project upon itself. So our true nature is beginningless freedom and independence. So moksha has a non-philosophical but utilitarian value if you understand as the claiming, recognition and claiming of my true limitless nature. But here we are talking more in philosophical terms. If samsara has a beginning, then moksha is not possible. So moksha would have a date of beginning, and everything that begins will expire. So it sounds like a good argument, and then there is no moksha. So there is no moksha. Okay, there's no moksha. But here it's saying that everything that has a beginning date cannot be moksha. But self-recognition, self-knowledge, or is although it happens in a linear time as a moment of direct recognition of one's nature, it does not point to something in time. It's in my Mithya time process in which I was born in this place, and then I became a seeker of the truth. And then at a certain point when I was at age 30, 40, 50, 60, and then in that linear of my apparent reality as a body-mind complex, and then appears to, I recognize moksha. But moksha is the substratum of the entire universe. You understand? So moksha is not really has a date, because moksha is that which is beyond time. It's our nature as consciousness. But within time, our apparent nature, there is a timeline in which somebody gets mature enough to understand one's moksha nature. You understand? Subtle distinction that sometimes makes a lot of confusion and gets people spinning around concepts and debating, discussing. So one thing is such, another thing is mithya. When did you get moksha? No, I did not get moksha. But when did you understand that you did not get? Oh, it was maybe 2 years ago or something shifted. I understood. Okay. And then it was 2022 or something like that. So did it happen in time? Moksha? No, moksha is my true nature. But what did happen in time? There, my recognition and claiming. If moksha has a beginning, and then it will have an expiration date, therefore, if Dvaitam is eternal and beginningless, Dvaitam is neither beginningless nor eternal because it does not exist at all. So then to solve all potential discussions, further discussion, you just cut to the chase, as they say in the United States, and then you say, oh, you're discussing about something which is just a mere appearance. So don't waste your energy. This beginningless world in which individuals appear to suffer do not exist at all. It's just an appearance. Moksha begins at if moksha begins at some time, and then before moksha, what was there? And then moksha will not be permanent. All the visions have accepted moksha. All the visions that have accepted moksha to be permanent. In which way it's permanent? It's permanent because it's one true nature. But it has no value if it was not really appreciated and owned, But once it is appreciated and owned, it's also permanent because, as we say, self-knowledge is that knowledge which is, once it's known, it's always there. It's always good. Even if you lose your mind a little bit, you get old and you get a little bit cuckoo, or you die unconscious. It's the self-knowledge is well established in the subconscious mind, you are good to go. Yeah? You are good to be dissolved in Brahman as Brahman. So all these visions accept moksha to be permanent. There are differences in the descriptions of moksha, but all systems agree both about eternal moksha. Moksha is one's eternal nature. It was always there, it has been always there, but our acknowledgement of that was not there due to avidya, and then it became available because I removed avidya with the help of the scriptures and the guru, and then once this ignorance was removed, I got this claiming knowledge of my true limitless nature, and that it becomes permanent because it's not subject to forgetfulness as well. I keep opening more context there. Advaita Vedanta never talks about the arrival of moksha, because arriving moksha is not moksha, but what needs to be done is dismissing the misconceptions, exactly. Dismissing the misconception that before I did not have moksha, therefore now I want moksha. When is this moksha arriving? I need to just claim moksha as my true nature, which is my true nature, Svarupam. Irrespective of the appearing and disappearing world, irrespective of the appearing and disappearing of this physical body and other people, events, world, and people appear and disappear within my true limitless moksha nature, consciousness. And none of these affects my true nature as moksha. Moksha is my real nature. Here it's put as a state. State is a danger word, as we know. None of these, the appearing, the superimposition of all these things upon myself affect my moksha nature. I'm free not because of something. I'm free in spite of anything happening in time. Krishna refers to this in the Gita. Or Arjuna, sense organs and objects which cause cold, heat, pleasure, and pain are subject to arrival and departure. They are impermanent. So, Arjuna, so take it easy and endure them. Okay, accept them. There's nothing you can do. They belong to Maya Shwara. And don't try to suppress your sense organs. Educate them, discipline them, but just take it easy. All pair of opposites are going to produce experience. Cold, heat, pleasure, and pain, all other pairs. They come and they go, they are impermanent. Accept what is not within your power to cancel, but understand the different nature of you as consciousness, moksha, and the apparent nature of these projections. May you learn to tolerate them, and you can do so only when you understand that the nature of the world and all the events is mityatva, is a projection, similar to the projection of the dream world. What is mityatva? The 4 points: existence of the world is to be negated, origination or creation of the world is to be negated, appearance of the world is to be accepted, experience of the world is to be accepted. And this appearance experience is due to what? To mula avidya, this original cosmic ignorance, okay? Why this cosmic ignorance, this mula avidya, or this vidya, which is also called Maya in some level, which is the prakriti of Maya that brings about the three gunas, and the three gunas is integral part of the human mind, is held together by these gunas and the 5 subtle elements derived from the three gunas. So this construct it seems to be unavoidably under the influence of too much Rajas and Tamas. So the mind has too much Rajas and Tamas, and then we experience a kind of original ignorance, which is due to our construct. It's built into the construct. The moment that energy grossifies, you need more Tamaguna, you need more Rajoguna to hold such a construct together. This is my take, this is my vision, this is my understanding. I take responsibilities for the possibility of not being 100% correct. Verse 31, that which does not exist in the beginning and in the end is so in the middle as well. Even though they are identical with some real objects, they are regarded as though real. Yeah, it's a very nice saying. It appears in the Gita. I bought a lot of nice sayings like that in the Ramana Ashra, but somehow I gave it all away. They're very nice to stick in the fridge. That which does not have a beginning and the end cannot be real in the middle as well, a real existence. They are identical with unreal appearing objects. They are regarded as though real. So due to avidya, they are regarded as real. To establish the Mityatvan of the universe, we should remember all four features of the universe as presented by Gaudapada. Different acharyas emphasize different features of the Mithya nature, okay? It's not really there. It's available as appearance and experience. It was never created. It is held together by intelligent laws and principles, and so on. And all of that due to ignorance of the intrinsic nature of this appearance. So the Mityatvan of the universe can be defined and emphasized in any of these four features. Gaudapada generally highlights the second feature, which is no origination, and the whole theory of no origination, no creation of the universe, which was the main purpose of Gaudapada in their analysis of Mandukya. Generally, Gaudapada highlights the second feature, no origination. Whatever the explanation for creation, he falsifies it by logic. Negation of the world is what we call Ajativada. In verse 32 of the second chapter and 48 of the third chapter, Gaudapada stressed that nothing is born and the world is not created. Shankaracharya, in all the other Upanishad, does not stress this second because it's too difficult to accept, especially when one experiences the world at all times. So what he's saying here, he's explaining that Gaudapada being a radical, he just decides to go all the way and to expose the non-existence of the world, which with his Ajativada, which is the vision of no creation, no origination, which appears in other Upanishads as well. He's mostly focused on this second feature of the Mithya nature. But Shankaracharya, he's a little bit more friendly to the public. He does not presents it that way because, he is afraid that nobody's going to understand. Everybody's going to run away from the scriptures, and then people are not going to grow and develop the proper qualifications to move from a junior stage student into a advanced stage. So it's not that Shankaracharya is against this second feature. He also accepts the second feature, but does not highlight it. He emphasized the third feature, which is that the appearance of the world has to be accepted. Very smart, huh? Yeah, it's okay. The reason appearance must be accepted. This is our focus here. In truth, oh, I can tell it very, very softly in your ear. This was never created. It's now real. But let's call it Mithya, and let's accept this universe as a Mithya universe. And let's find out a way we can live happily in this projection. Emphasize, though, the third feature. This is called Adhyasavada or Mithya Jati Vada. Mithya Ajati Vada. Shankaracharya does not say that the world is not born or created or originated. The world appears, and its appearance provides us with experience, transaction, and assessment of utility of its objects. Okay, ETU, experience, transaction, and utilities. Now we are the ones establishing the utilities of this apparent usually. Oh no, it's of course great. I'm having a tea. Why? Because I took my apparent cup, which has a great utility, without which I cannot drink my tea. So we have to accept the utility, and we transact in this world, and we experience, and we get some knowledge, a lot of lousy knowledge that have to be revised again and again, but we get some knowledge about this Mithya world. Even though this Mithya world has ETU, it's yet only Mithya. ETU does not prove reality, because ETU is possible for the appearing world. How can the world be only an appearance, but has ETU? Gaudapada's answers was given in the second chapter. The appearance can have ETU, just like the dream world has ETU. No? We have a dream world, and there we have experience. We navigate and transact, interact with the other participants. Yeah? And we need to find a dream cup, which has great utility for drinking a dream tea. Gaudapada himself comes to Adhyasavada here. If Ajativada is too difficult to accept, Gaudapada also makes a compromise. He already discussed Adhyasavada in the second chapter, which is the Mithya nature, which must be accepted. He already introduced us to this in the second chapter. He restates several verses from the second chapter until the 35. Instead of saying that the world has no origination, he says that it has an apparent origination, or as an appearance is better. No? It appears. If we say that it was created, it was originated, and then we have the trouble to determine when it was originated and what was the cause, and then we are deep fried. No? So during its appearance, it will be real, but it's a conditional reality, as we know. Yeah? We need a certain body, mind to enter that order of reality. Once we abandon that instrument of experience, that universe, that reality, that order disappears, because I changed my instrument of experience. Now I have glass now. This is my computer glass, because it's for 1 meter, a meter. And then sometimes I run from here and I go to the town, and I'm taking my computer glass, and then I cannot really drive well, because the distance, long distance, is bad, and I cannot read anything, neither a message, because I can't get. I'm just now set for, with an instrument, to read a distance of a meter or something like that. You understand? So every time we change our environment, we need to change our instrument. So what did I do the other day? I was there in downtown. I bought a reading glass. I say, so if it happened like 2-3 times, so now I'm having a reading glass here. At least I can read message on the telephone and some other things whenever needed, if I don't take my proper glass with me when I go. The appearance can have all of these things. He restates several verses from the second and the third in the chapter. Instead of saying that the word has no origination, he says that the word appears and it's there available for experience. During its appearance, it will be real, but conditionally real. A summary of these two, verse 32 to 35, will be given now. So he's going to recollect some of his previous verse on the previous chapters to remind us that he understands that we can never reject completely the Mithya nature of this universe. So just like Lord Krishna says, accept it, accept it. And even though it appears that he say, oh, I mean, I got some people confused in my last seminar in Brazil when we did this, chapter 4 of the Mandukya. Some people want to even drop from the Bhagavad Gita class because, I'm here just reinforcing Mithya, I just have to go into the binary mode, such a Mithya, and discriminate only from there and so on. Say, no, accept. Go easy. Work on both formats, triangular and binary. So now it comes. Their utility is contradicting dream. He's bringing the verse that recollects his acceptance of Mithya as an appearance. Their utility is contradicting dream. Therefore, they are indeed considered to be unreal only, since they have a beginning and an end. So the utility of all objects is contradicting dream. Therefore, they are indeed considered to be unreal only, since they have a beginning and end. So we can all establish that anything that has a beginning and an end cannot really be real in the middle, and therefore it's not really real. So the utility is contradicted in the dream. So let's see what Swami elaborates of this set of verse here, because as I told you, many of these verses, they are somehow present in a way that it's difficult to know exactly what they are trying to convey. A few times I have difficulty here. All entities in dream are unreal. Why? Because they are seen within the body. So as we know, the dream world is a projection of the dreamer, as if this is a concept we saw exactly on the chapter 2 when he was saying all people and things are happening within our bodies. It means to say within our mind, body mind, you understand? So the entities in the dream are real because they are seen within my body. It's happening in my mind. It's happening in my body mind. So it's something that is unique to my body mind. It's a reflection, projection within my own body mind. How can there be perception of object within this limited space? So now I remember the passage in which he says, how can I have an experience of mountains and elephants and everything within my stomach or my brain or whatever? If I take it happening within me, but I somehow added it when we went through the chapter 2 as happening within my mind, you understand? Not the brain, not the body mind, but my mind. So, but my mind is limited. How can my mind project such a universe? So, and then it's easy for us to disregard it as unreal. Seeing the dream entities after reaching them is not possible because of inconsistency of the duration with regard to travel. So another problem with the dream world is that everything is there, the dream entities are there, the dream objects are there, but seeing after reaching this dream world and the object is not possible because of inconsistency of the duration with regard to travel. So it means to say that sometimes in the dream there are long distance to be crossed, and the dream has last few minutes. And how could I travel that far? No? And duration, there is a contradiction, incoherence in regards to space and time. The first verse, 33, is about space. How can this universe appear within my mind? My mind is so small. And then how could I transact in this dream world if I only dreamed it for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you know? So there are inconsistencies in regard to space and time. Again, after waking up, no one continues to be in that dream place. So this is the limitation of duration and space. After conversing with friends and other people in the dream, the awaker does not find it real. Again, after waking up, he does not see, or she does not see, anything which was received in the dream. Here he's pointing out something nice and new. It's like, okay, we are so tired of establishing that the dream world is not real and why it's not real, but we need to draw these parallels to understand that the waking world is also not real. And then he says, so you go there, you meet someone, you have good conversations with your friend, you know, and then the dreamer wakes up, and then the awaker does not find it real. Yeah, and we know that we don't find it real because of the limitation of time, space, among many other things. And how could I, it be real if it's a projection of my mind? My mind does not have this power, and so on. It's an illusion. Illusion is a good word in this context. But furthermore, after I wake up, well, I have to find my friend in the dream. I know him. He lives very near to me. I'm going to meet with him and to verify if he validates that experience that I had together with him. We were there, we are swimming, we are having a good time, laughing and so on. And I'm sure he will validate that experience, And so no, you cannot go to your friend, because the friend is going to say, no, I mean, keep your dream for yourself, man. So if you want to have a trip, illusion, so don't get me involved in your trip, in your illusion. And furthermore, my friend, my good friend, not only was there with me experience, and he gave me a present, and I'm not finding this present. I looked everywhere in my pockets, and maybe it fell in my bed and so on. So I need to meet my friend to see if he took it back before the dream was ending, But he will remember that he gave me this present, So he introduced more of these elements to help us to understand how unreal the dream world is, and we need to later on to equate the Mitya nature of the dream world with the Mitya nature of the waking world. Gaudapada said again and again that the dream world appears to be real, only the dream. Nobody believes dream is a dream once the dream is gone. Nobody believes that the dream is an illusion while you are dreaming it. You take the dream world and the dream experience seriously, very seriously. For a dreamer, dream is not a dream in the dream. For the dreamer, that is not an illusion, it's reality, because he's there totally immersed in that suborder reality. Using this subtle body, he's there and everything is objectively real. He looks upon the dream as awaking only and takes the dream world as real. He looks upon the dream as awaking on the same way the awaker looks at this awaking dream world, Vyavaharika, the dreamer looks upon that equally, the same way. No? He takes the dream world as real, further the dream world appears to be common and objective, that is available to everyone. The dream world does not appear to be my private projection. No, when I'm there is one projection, one reality. I don't know that my mind has projected. I find myself in there, and a lot of people are in there, and I hope they can testify to all those experiences. Oh, I fell in love with you. Don't you remember, my neighbor? So we did great. We had a great time. We made love and so on. And now you're telling me that you don't care for me. You have declared your love to me just last night. No? So we cannot. Everybody's involved. Everybody's participating. Everything is real. There is no question of discarding it as an illusion. But in spite of all of that, we don't accept that reality because we feel that it's happening in my mind or in my body. It's happening within me. No? After waking up, the dream world is known to be a projection because sufficient space and time for a real dream world are not present in our minds. Gaudapada adds two more points here. That's the brilliance of this verse, which he did not discuss in the past. The dreamy conversation with a friend cannot be verified with the same friend upon awakening. Simple. It seems to be irrelevant, but it has great relevance because it's so hard to understand the meta nature of this awakened state that we need to really profoundly understand the meta nature of this dream universe, the dream world, so that we can make some parallels between the dream world, the waking world, and between the awakened world and the Turiya world, Paramatma Satyam, okay, the only reality, the true reality. When I stand in Brahman as the Brahman, the only difficulty in all of these analogies is the key, is that all these suborders or lokas or whatever in which we use different bodies to experience different orders, we are there anyhow as an experiencing knowing entity. We are experiencing. It's said that we are not really experiencing these lokas, non-physical lokas, but we are not really knowing much. We are just experiencing or exhausting punya papa. But definitely we are there as an experiencing entity, at least that we should accept. No? And when we make this parallel between the awakening world to see the exact Mityan nature of the awake world, such as the Mityan nature of the dream world, when we make this parallel between the awakening world and the awaker and Brahman and the absolute reality, and then yes, you have to stand in Brahman as Brahman to see the Mitya nature of the awakening world. So what is the difficulty? Brahman is not an experienced entity, and I can only believe what I experience. You understand? If I cannot experience, I don't believe. And then Vedanta has to bring all these analogies to prove us, example, that there are so many things that we experience, but they are not real. You understand? But yet we experience. Why you are overrating experience to such an extent? Now, I will be Brahman if I can experience from that standpoint. The only way you can experience from the standpoint of Brahman is by knowing that your true nature as Brahman, and that is going to give you a benefit which is experienced as the Jiva Atman from the standpoint of Brahman, because Jiva Atman understood that I am that Brahman in my fundamental nature. And then that is the condition of the Jnani, properly and formally established. He can, although Brahman is not an experienced entity, but Jiva Atman is a mixture of energy, matter, and the spirit. The spirit is consciousness. So since we are a cocktail of these most two fundamental principles, one is consciousness and the other is matter, energy. So it is my spiritual nature that allows me to understand my true nature, my spiritual nature, and understand these analogies that takes me, transferring my identity from the awaker to Turiya, to Brahman, to consciousness. Although consciousness is not an experienced entity, but I, the Jiva Atma, in my true nature as the Atma, still hold the feature of an experienced entity. You understand, Lynn? All of this seems to be philosophical and mental and theory until this transfer happens, and then you know what the scripture is talking about. You understand? Because otherwise it's only philosophical, theoretical notions. Yeah? Gaudapada adds two more points, as we have seen. Understanding dream is very useful for understanding the nature of mithya. Understand the mithya, the dream world is very useful for understanding the mithya dream world, physical material of Vyavaharika as well. The world is only conditionally real, just like a dream world is conditional. What's the condition? I need to use my dream body and tap into the dream world. But the dream world should be respecting the dream. Vedanta never says that this dream world, this physical material world should be neglected. So when in Rome, behave like a Rome, do all your duties properly because the waking world is real. Once we are transacting within the waking world, give it due regard. At the same time, remember that the awakened world does not have absolute reality, that you are the absolute reality, the conscious subject principle, the observer. I, the observer, am unlike the waking world. The waking world is just something that is illumined and revealed by I as consciousness, as Turiya, as Brahman. The waking world has conditional reality. It depends on my body, mind, sense complex structure physically here. So the awakened world has a conditional reality. Without this awakened body, I cannot experience and know it. But I, consciousness, I, Turiya, I, Brahman, I'm unconditional reality, absolute reality. I don't need an instrument of experience because I'm beyond the fundamental experience, a fundamental duality, experiencer and experienced. I'm the ground of beingness, the ground of existence, the ground of consciousness that allows Maya to configure these living entities so that they experience this fundamental duality. And they need proper instruments, such as my glasses, I was presented now, to experience different frequencies of realms, or different orders. So I, Turiya Brahman, will never be affected by events that take place in Vyavaharika. Oh, and how about your mind? Oh, the mind is integral part of this mithya Vyavaharika, and the mind is going to be impacted to a certain degree. But the moment that the mind knows its true nature as Turiya, as consciousness, as Brahman, which is totally unconditional and absolute reality, once the mind knows that, and then the mind has the benefit, the practical utilitarian benefit of not being much affected by anything that happens in this Vyavaharika, in this physical material dream. You understand? Because the mind now is got the balance of self-knowledge. So I will not be affected by any event that takes place. This is the capsule number 4 of Vedanta. The capsule is that I'm never affected by any event that takes place in this Vyavaharika world. This material body-mind complex is really the world or the material body-mind complex. So anything that happens to my body-mind complex, I'm just not affected by that because I'm consciousness. I am a Sangha. The body-mind has associations with the world. The body-mind is Sangha, is in constant association, but I am not in any association with anything because I belong to a totally different other reality, which is the only absolute reality, which is one without a second. Therefore, it's Ananda, meaning to say one without a second, meaning to say limitless and infinite consciousness. If this is firmly retained as knowledge, the events in life will not affect one too much. So, meaning to say, you're going to have that famous immunity, spiritual immunity against all adversities happening in our world, through so many different yugas, as they say. So you're going to have a sense of strength, balance, equanimity, in regards to the conditions of the Dhamma field. And then he presents this knowledge. He's a powerful shock absorber. He's a powerful airbag. He's a powerful shield against the pleasures and pains of, oh, no, pleasure, no, let them come, let it, oh, remember the guy who died of a heart attack when he discovered that he won $10 million? Be careful with pleasures in excess. The goal here is to keep connecting the Mithya nature of the dream world with the Mithya nature of the waking world. The existence and origination of both are there. The existence and origination of both are not there. The appearance and the experience of both is there and cannot be negated. It's called avidya at the individual level. It's due to avidya and it's due to Maya at the macrocosmic level. So on the macrocosmic level, the prakrits of Maya produce this grossification of the elements in which the living creatures, which are constructs as well by the same 5 elements, suffer of this cosmic universal ignorance. So on the individual level, we call it avidya. Avidya is something that can be dealt with by following the teachings of the scriptures and gradually but sure developing a little bit more of Sattvaguna. A little bit more of a contemplative, clear, focused mind. So qualifications, improvement, betterment of the body-mind. So that's possible. You can deal with avidya, but on the macrocosmic level, so we are powerless before Maya. Maya is the greatest illusionist. It just takes in all the thoughts, concepts, desires, and fears, the vasanas of all living creatures, and keeps shaping different orders or different universe for the enjoyment and suffering of all creatures through whatsoever instruments of experience. So Maya is powerful and nobody can deal with it, but the individual on its personal level has something to do here, and this is the suggestion of the scriptures. And this is the promise that you can remove this avidya on the micro individual level. And here are the scriptures. Even though all these features are applicable to the dream, and can be understood as well. The moment we enter the dream world, we forget all our wisdom. Yeah. Oh no, I forgot it again. I'm taking the dream seriously. He experienced the dream world as a waking world. I mean, you see as much reality in the dream as in the waking world. And the person never looks at it as just a projection or reflection occurring in one's very mind. One looks at the dream world as existing reality objectively, in which he finds himself and others. The person will think that even if the person dies in the dream world will continue for others. This is a nice one, huh? So I'm in great danger in the dream world. There are some people trying to assassinate me. This is my greatest fear in my awakening world. So I just took it with me, a projected dream, and my fear here is I have so many millions reserved in a certain bank in my dream world, and if I'm assassinated there, and then the dream world will carry on, but I'm not going to be there to enjoy my fortune, and not only that, I'm afraid that some of my intimate friends are going to steal my fortune. So here he's saying that it's even concerned about that. Yeah, no, the dream world is real. It's going to continue. If I'm assassinating the dream, so who's going to take care of my fortune? Similarly, when we look at this physical material world from the awakened state angle, this world will have objective existence. It will seem to be originating from some cause. It will seem to continue for others, even if I'm dead. Oh, yes, no, my father died and everything carried on business as usual. Oh, then, so it is real because it has a sense of permanence to it, as we have seen in the chapter 2 and 3. Chapter 2, does the objective existence of the world appears to be very factual in the awakening world. But on deeper analysis, on deeper inquiry, it cannot be logically supported or established because it is exactly like the dream world. It is unbelievable, but it is a fact. It is unbelievable, but it is a fact. The waking world is just like the dream world. And both somehow being projected, gaining a certain power to exist, borrowed, landed power to exist. It's unbelievable, but it's the fact. The waking world and the dream world are both borrow existence from myself. So this myself, now he jumps to Turiya. He said that fundamentally the dream world is not coming from me because I don't know how to do that. You see, the dream world comes from Maya, and Maya is something that is easily resolved in Brahman, in consciousness. And the awakened world as well is getting this borrowed existence from myself as consciousness, but not really consciousness, because consciousness is a karta, but from Maya. So we have these two powers, Maya Shakti and Nidra Shakti. And I have nothing to do with it because I don't even know how to digest my food. But these big guys, they know how to do those things. The awakened world is like the dream world. Both enjoy an apparent borrowed existence. And this existence comes from whom? This does not come from myself. This principle is not the Vishwa Tejaso Pranya. This coming from Turiya Brahman consciousness with the power, with the aid of Maya Shakti and Nidra Shakti. After gaining the knowledge that I am this Turiya, that which is before and beyond Maya and all its powers, I continue to live in the waking world, accepting it uh, after gaining the knowledge of Turiya, living in the waking world, accepting it as a fact because the waking world is real in the waking world, just like in the dream world. So be careful after gaining the knowledge, self-knowledge, living in the waking world, accepting it as an apparent reality. When you say as a fact, you have to understand what Swamiji is trying to say with it. Do not neglect. Do your swadharma, play your roles efficiently and fairly. You understand? But accept it is an apparent order of reality in which you need to know how to conduct yourself. The waking world appears to be real for the awaker entity, but now you have established your identity in Turiya, in Brahman, as Brahman, but yet this establishment of your true identity does not cancel Mithya, the waking world and the dream world and the deep sleep world. So none of that will go. So once you understood your true nature, you accept the awakened world as an apparent reality, which cannot be neglected. Okay? Know that it appears to be real for everybody around you, but not for you, because you have the knowledge. But yet, you're not going to upset anybody more. Furthermore, you don't want to create conflict for yourself. You just imagine you go around and say, oh, no, I'm not going to pay tax. Why? Because none of this is real. You understand? So don't create a mess to yourself and others. Yeah? Respect this mutual structure. Be grateful for the opportunity, but know that it's not absolutely real. Be respectful to this mutual world, the Vyavaharika, the respect that it deserves. But don't overestimate it, don't underestimate it. Know it to be mithya, and yet know that you cannot underestimate it because it can create pain and conflict if you just neglect it completely. But some sages do not care. So you remember again, Ramana Maharaj, he neglects his mithya nature to such an extent that insects ate up his leg. You understand? So, oh, this is underestimate me. Yes, but you can never tell. You cannot judge anybody. He did not have many roles to play. He was a total sannyas. He was immersed in this self knowledge or samadhi or whatever. He did not care for being an entity experienced this Vyavaharika nor any other dimension or order of reality. So he was not overestimating, he was not underestimating, he was just completely beyond all of that, let's say. But if we have a karma in which we need to interact, we need to follow and perform our roles. So be careful, because self-knowledge does not release us from our mithya vyavaharika responsibilities. Jesus called Jiva Mukti, the one who understood Satya, understood Mithya, and does not confuse one with the other. Gaudapada is equating the dream and the awakened world by adding a few more important points, and we're going to carry on seeing it tomorrow from verse 36, right? What is it? What is it? Yeah. Anything from you guys? Are you guys getting tired of all of this? If you get too tired, let me know. I can do other things here as well. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishate. Om Shanti 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 Namaste. Arrivederci, sayonara, bye now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Arlindo. Wonderful
Thank you.
sightseeing.